Greetings. My name is Ra Imhotep, broadcasting on behalf of 13signsastrology.com. That's the number 13, signs plural, and that's astrology.com. The reason for this video is because I want to put out some brief information on why one should obtain their natal reading, as far as their astrological natal reading. Now, there's 12 main reasons why I believe that each individual out there, regardless to your religion, regardless to your class, regardless to your creed or gender, you need a natal reading. Now, I know a lot of people are Christians, and a whole lot of people are Muslims and different religions like that, and they believe that their holy book basically forbids them from obtaining a natal reading, and I'm here to tell you that that is not the truth. That's misinformation that has been put out by different pastors, imams, and bishops. And basically, at the end of the day, getting a natal reading is something that helps to benefit the self. I mean, it's not a form of witchcraft, it's not a form of paganism, it's not a form of any of that. The reason why you want to get a natal reading is because, and this is the number one reason right here, is because you want to know yourself. And the reason why you want to know yourself is because if you don't know yourself, then you're not going to know what your role and purpose is in this world and in your community and just in your overall life, period, in general. I mean, we were all born here for a reason. Now, I know like some of you might not believe this, but many of you have been here before. And if you're out here listening to this right now, you know who you are. I mean, you've been here before. And the fact that you've been here before, you have certain past life karma and past life energies and gifts and curses that you've carried over from your past lives. And the reason why you want to get a natal reading is because you want to look into that and you want to see like what it is inside of you that's holding you back on certain different levels. So the first reason is basically so that you can get a thorough knowledge of yourself. I mean, that's what it comes down to. When we read the Bible and we study different religious scriptures, we're reading stories and parables that help to teach certain principles, certain moral principles. But the thing is that it's not really giving you a knowledge of yourself, like a knowledge of who you are. And that's basically what the astrological doctrine does. It's giving you a knowledge of who you are, like who you are as a self and as an individual. I mean, like when you read the stories in the Bible, this is just teaching you, the right and wrong way to do a certain thing. But I'm talking about like who you are as a person in yourself. And that's basically what the astrological reading does for you. When you get your natal reading, it shows you some of the things you've been through in the past, some of the things you're going to go through in the future, some of the things you're going through right now. Now, the second reason why you want to get a natal reading is a very important reason. We all live in this matrix and we all need money. We all need finances and we all need certain material things. Now, when you get a reading, it's going to walk you through your outlook on money, how you look at money, what's holding you back from getting more money, or if you're too greedy, if you already do have money and you're too greedy and you wonder why certain things are happening to you, you can look into a certain aspect of your astrological chart and it'll give you a great analysis on your baggage with money, like basically your outlook on money and financial things in particular, and basically on the material and mundane things on this plane of manifest that we are on. And it's very important here, so we have to deal with this issue as far as money. I know in a lot of religious schools of thought, they teach that money is the root of all evil and things like that, but we need money to survive. I mean, money is basically like a resource that's passed around and helps us to eat and do certain things, and we all need that money to survive. I mean, if you're not living self-sustained and you don't have land and you don't have a farm and you don't have certain things, like, what I'm saying, that you can provide for yourself based on the earth, then you're going to need money to basically make it in this three-dimensional matrix, because that's how it's set up right now, beloved. And that's what it comes down to. And you can look into a part of your astrological chart and actually help you to manifest and create and attract more money and to find your niche in life that's going to bring you money. There is a part in your chart that helps you with that. Now, the third reason why one should obtain their astrological profile and natal reading is because we all live in a community. Regardless to if you're from Africa, if you're from Australia, if you're from Europe, I don't care if you're from America. We all live in a community and we all live in a neighborhood, and you have a responsibility to that community because you live there. And when you look into your astrological chart, it'll help you to determine and to discern what your role is in that community that you live. We all have a certain role in the community that we live, and we're not just islands and we're not just isolated. So you want to get into that information, beloved. Now, the fourth reason why you should obtain a natal reading is because when you're born into this world, we all want to know how it's going to end. We all want to know, like, what's the potential for certain things to happen. And you have a certain chart that you can look into that can tell you how your life is going to be towards the end of your life, like the state that you're going to be in, the things that you're going to be experiencing. This is all dealing with the fourth house. And this is the fourth reason why you should get a reading. We also can use the fourth house to look into, like, our abode, like our actual house, and like how you want to live as a person. Like some of us want to live in like a communal environment, like where we rent rooms and basically live with other people, whereas you have some people that need to live in a big old mansion. And I can basically cast your chart and basically figure out exactly what it is on the inside of you that's going to make you happy and how you feel like you should live, because we all like know certain things in our heart, but then it's like kind of hard for us to really like to distinguish what are our thoughts versus the world's thoughts, because like a whole lot of us have been enslaved through other people's doctrines and beliefs, and like really the system in the matrix has pimped us. And that's the reason why you need to also get an astrological chart done too, because like once you know yourself and know who you are, you're not going to be pimped anymore. I mean, if you really truly know your self-worth and who you are, nobody can pimp you. Nobody can sell you a dream. The way you pimp somebody is you sell them a dream. And basically, if they believe it, then they basically up under you and in submission to you. But if you start to learn these certain sciences like astrology and numerology and these things that are going to help you become a better person, nobody's going to be able to do that to you anymore, beloved. You're not going to be able to be pimped. And that's what it comes down to. You want to know yourself to the point where you could just roll straight, sovereign, and dolo. And that's what astrology helps you to do. It helps you to roll spiritually sovereign. Like to where you could just do you and know exactly how you're going to assert yourself in any situation. Now, the fifth reason why you should get an astrological reading as far as the natal chart done is because we all are creators. At some point in your life, you've created something. And we all have creative potential. I don't care if you create with words. I don't care if you create with your hands. Some of us like to draw pictures, and some of us like to create on many different levels. Some of us use our mind to create. We all are creative. And the fifth house deals with how you're going to express this creativity to the world. Like, how are you going to project this creativity to the world and give off your energy to the world? And we need the fifth house for that. The fifth house also deals with your romantic relationships. We all get into different romantic relationships, and we all wonder how it's going to go. Well, you can look into your fifth house and figure that out. I mean, you can basically look at like why you have certain patterns in certain relationships and things you need to change up when you are in the dating game and the courting game, and you courting a different woman or man, and you basically want to figure out like how come you go through the same things. You need to look at the fifth house to figure that out, and that's the fifth reason why you should get an astrological natal reading. The sixth reason is one of my favorite reasons and one of my favorite houses. The sixth house deals with your health. Now, your health is like you. You live in this body, and you have a responsibility to take care of it. And the sixth house rules the body. You definitely want to take up a certain diet based off your sixth house. Your sixth house will help you to determine what diet is best for you to take up. Some of us have to be strict vegetarians and can only eat certain foods. I mean, really, we all should be vegetarians. Like, honestly, if you want to make it through this shift, and I'm going to go into that a little later, but if you want to make it through this shift, I mean, we all should be vegetarians. But I'm saying for the sake of different individuals, some of us like really need to eat a certain kind of way, whereas other people can get away with eating a little junk food because it's based on the constitution of how you're going to operate in your vehicle and your body. And some people can get away with putting a little more junk and poison in their body. I will say that. And the sixth house deals with that. Now, also the sixth house deals with service and your service to the world, your service as far as your employment and things of that nature, and the type of jobs or career positions that you might want to take up. That's what the sixth house deals with. Now, the seventh house is a very important house for a lot of people because we all are in different relationships and we all have family and we all have certain ties. Now, the seventh house deals with your family ties and it deals with your relationship ties. It deals with your marriages, your partnerships, your business partnerships. It deals with your dealings in law, like as far as like dealing with the legal realm. It's like as far as if you get caught up into a lawsuit, how it's going to end out for you. All of that deals with the seventh house. So the seventh house will tell you as to whether or not you should get into litigation, because some people need to settle out of court, and that's what the seventh house deals with. Now, the eighth house is a very important house. We call this one of the occult houses. The eighth house is one of the occult houses. And what I mean by occult, if you look up the word occult, it just means hidden. So when we say occult, this is your house when we deal with your demonology, when we people deal with paranormal activity, seeing certain spiritual apparitions, and people that are on this level to where they see things. Like, this is all dealing with the eighth house. And like in our society, see, like this is why people need to get into astrology, because in our society, a person that sees these certain paranormal entities, certain beings and elemental beings, be they positive or negative, is called crazy. Like if you go out and voicing your opinion, telling people that you see certain things, if you've seen certain things, you'll be called crazy in society. But a person can come to me like as an astrologer, and I'm going to help you to understand exactly what it is you're seeing based on your eighth house, because all of this goes down through the eighth house. And I'm going to basically help you to see exactly what it is that you're seeing as far as in this eighth house, because the eighth house deals with paranormal activity, the occult. It also deals with death and the nature of death, and how your life is going to end up. Some people want to know that, believe it or not. Now, other people don't, but some people want to know how their life is going to end up and what's the nature of their death. How's it going to be like when they die? Some people are going to die like in a violent way. Some people are going to die from health problems. Some people are going to just die from old age. But the eighth house will let you know exactly how it's going to go down, beloved. So you don't have to have no worries about anything, and you can just plan accordingly. Astrology helps you to just make the transformation from birth through life all the way to death, and that's the beautiful thing about it. Now, the ninth house deals with recognition, your education. It deals with whether or not you should go to school or maybe you shouldn't go to school. Well, we can look into the ninth house, which is the ninth reason why you should get an astrological reading, to basically see exactly how your education is going to end up. And it also deals with going on long journeys. Like some of us are going to go on a long journey in our life, and that's something that we're going to do. And the ninth house will help you to see it. Is that something for you? Are you going to one day move abroad and leave your country? Like if you're from Africa, are you going to one day move to England? If you're from England, are you going to one day move to the Americas, to the shores of the U.S.? I mean, basically, you can look into your ninth house, and it'll help you with that information. Now, your 10th house, this is one of my favorite houses right here. This is the life purpose house. And going back to basically like people getting pimped, I mean, if you know what's going on in your 10th house and you know your life purpose, nobody's going to be able to sell you a dream, beloved, because you're going to know exactly what you're supposed to be doing here on this planet. And nobody's going to be able to come and tell you otherwise. So it'll kind of like kill all of this, people getting caught up in other people's dreams and other people's realities. Like this is like what's going on in the matrix right now. And this is why really the shift is like happening the way it is, and a lot of people are going to end up in a real bad state, like when the shift like comes all the way through, and when the shift takes place, is because like a lot of people are like living out other people's dreams. And if you really want to like find yourself and know who you are, you need to look into your 10th house and get some knowledge on who you are as a person and your own life purpose. I mean, you have to get that. It's definitely necessary. It's definitely a must, beloved. Now, the 11th house and the 11th reason why you should obtain an astrological reading is because we all have friends. And some of us put too much energy into our friends, and that's what's holding us back from reaching our goals. And whereas other people are like hermits, and all they do is go to work and come home, they don't have any friends. Well, you need to look into your 11th house, and that'll help you to determine, are you too much of a social butterfly, or are you not socializing enough? Because the 11th house deals with all type of social networks, all type of ways of communicating with friends and different people, and whether or not they're holding you back or not is based upon which planet you have in that house. Like all of these factors, I'm just giving out the reasons why you should get a reading. But like when an astrologer does your reading, he looks or she looks at the houses and puts your planets. I mean, it basically kind of determines the type of person you are based on the planets that are in those houses. So I'm just giving you tidbits on what each house means, but I mean it's much more to it. But I'm just giving you basically reasons why you should get a natal reading, telling you which departments of your life these things will help out in. So the 11th house deals with group activities. Some people need to join organizations and basically get a part of different structures. Some people need to do that as far as group structures. I mean, we have people that need to do that. Some people, like I said, are a part of too much, and it's really just taking away from their energy because you're putting all this time into the group, but then you kind of like neglecting yourself in the first house, because like remember what I said, astrology starts off with the self. So that's the number one thing, is know thyself, which is a maxim of our ancestors. Now the 12th house is like one of my favorite houses again. Now this is the house a lot of people are scared of or whatever, but this is called the house of self-undoing, beloved. And this is actually the house of the subconscious mind. In this house, we look at how we kind of just messed ourselves up. Like, I mean, basically every day we all do things that are self-destructive to ourselves. Some of us have drug problems. Some of us have food problems. Some of us have sex problems. I mean, we have all these different problems, but they all go back to the 12th house. You can look into a person's 12th house, and it's not really going to tell you the problem, but the 12th house deals with why you're doing a certain thing that's creating this problem. So the 12th house, say for instance, if you have a smoking problem, the 12th house is going to give you information on what it is that you're trying to cover up with. Like, why do you keep smoking this drug and doing this thing? Like, what it is something that's within you that you don't like, because you constantly have to alter your sense of reality to basically feel a certain kind of way to feel valuable, and that's basically self-undoing. You're destroying yourself, beloved, when you do that. Now, I'm not here to judge you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm just basically giving out information, and it will actually help you if you really like apply this information. And that's why a lot of people need to get an astrological reading, is because really, you know, we're just totally lost, man. We're totally lost, and it's basically because we don't know ourselves. I mean, really, us being lost don't have nothing to do with nothing else, but just the fact that we don't know ourselves. We don't know how the human body works. We don't know how to manifest certain things in our life, because we're totally just dependent on exterior factors. I mean, like, most people in society are totally dependent on exterior factors, when really you're supposed to be helping the exterior factors. You were put here to really like service the earth and to kind of like help the earth and till the earth, not to like depend on the earth and basically be like a leech. I mean, like, we're allowing people to pimp us, and we become leeches to the government and leeches to the system. We have to break free of that and to know ourselves and to know our own spiritual sovereignty. I mean, stop looking up to all these different entertainers and basically all these people that it's really getting you nowhere. It's all about knowing you and knowing who you are. I mean, it's okay to have fun and do those things, but it's about knowing who you are as a person. And that's going to do it for me as far as this brief video on why you should obtain your natal chart. I'm going to say in closing that I am a 13th sign astrologer, and to all you astrologers out there, you need to become a 13th sign astrologer too. I'm not trying to sound radical. I'm just kicking the facts and the truth. Last year, it was last January. I mean, all of you guys seen it probably. I mean, if you haven't, you can Google it. But a new sign came out. It's called the sign of Fucus, and it's the 13th sign. And they discovered a new sign in the zodiac. And many people are not including this sign in their readings. And I'm talking to you astrologers out there. Stop doing the people a disservice and include this sign in your readings, man. And women, like, do it. There's nothing wrong with them. You have to just bring and introduce them to the new information. I mean, like, stop having me being the only show out here that's introducing people to the 13th sign. Now, I don't mind doing that, because I'm getting a lot of people that's really dealing with the 13th sign, because they know that my readings are accurate, versus these people that are still giving out Western astrological readings based off of a zodiac that was put together over 2,000 years ago that's not valid anymore. We are in 2012, y'all, which means that 2012 is dealing with the shift. Like, we're going into a new dimension of reality. So you could deal with the old world things, or you can come into this new world. Like, I'm already in the new world, and there's a lot of other people in the new world, and we having fun, and we basically doing our thing. You know what I'm saying? And we teaching people the truth, but at the same time, we're having fun being in this new paradigm. But many people are still in the past and caught up in the past and getting caught up in this fear and worrying about all these different issues that really have nothing to do with you. It's like, it's all about knowing you and who you are. But to all you astrologers, you really need to start doing these 13 sign readings or whatever, so that we can help to upgrade this planet and to help to facilitate the shift that the Mayans predicted. I mean, this is a constellation that was always out there, but the scientists have just found it. And like I said, you can Google 13 sign and it'll come up. Like, I mean, it was on CNN. It was like all over the media last year or whatever. And it's just a lot of people out there don't want to deal with it, so it's being suppressed. But I have a book on it, so, you know, basically, like, if you want to know more about this 13th sign, you can order my book. Like, go ahead and email me at 13signsastrology@gmail.com, and I'll get you my book. Again, my email is 13signsastrology@gmail.com, and I will get you my book, and it'll help you, walk you through the new zodiac. I give you the dates and everything. I give you proof on all of this stuff, so you don't have to leave anything to fiction anymore, because all the facts are out there. So I'm going to go ahead and close this video out. I thank you all for watching. I hope it was helpful. And until I see you again, peace and love.